Hey guys, I'm the Burke and I do things. And if you are new to my channel, you're an expecting mom, you are a mom, you're thinking about being a mom, I am going to start a new series on my channel, kind of going through different things that happened, that I experienced throughout my pregnancy. Currently, as I'm filming this, I am 21 weeks pregnant. My baby is the size of a large banana, according to the What to Expect app. My name is Rachel. I am 31 years old. This is my first pregnancy. If you see any disturbance towards the bottom of the screen, that is my cat Mario. He is sort of pretending to sleep on the ottoman right in front of me, but more than likely he will do something to make an appearance throughout this video. This is actually my first time sitting down in my nursery and filming. I have my pumpkin cold brew here because the cold drinks at Starbucks are within the allowed milligrams for a pregnancy. Fun fact. If you are new to my channel and are wondering a little bit about my pregnancy, I do have a pregnancy playlist I can link up here. I do vlogs. I did a lot of vlogging as we set up our nursery. Every couple weeks or so, I do like a chatty get ready with me where I kind of talk about new symptoms and new experiences I'm having in my pregnancy. Such as like this last week, I finally felt the baby for the first time, which was pretty crazy. I also am not used to shooting at like an angle where you can see like my entire torso. So that is something I'm getting used to. But you know, I know this is like kind of what people like to see when you're pregnant. So I'm letting you see it. Now, before getting pregnant, I feel like I watched a lot of videos like this where I was learning about different people's symptoms and just like different experiences they had within pregnancy. And I felt like I learned a lot through YouTube. However, even with everything I learned, there have still been a lot of surprises throughout my pregnancy that I did not see coming. Now, you may not get any of these symptoms. You may never have any of these symptoms. My mom had 4 children and has not had a lot of the symptoms that I had. So it's kind of luck of the draw. Every pregnancy is going to be very unique, very different, but that does not mean there's anything wrong with you. That does not mean you're doing anything wrong. That just is how your body is handling that pregnancy, and don't let anyone tell you anything otherwise. I definitely am looking forward to filming a lot more pregnancy content on my channel, so definitely let me know if there are any ideas you'd like to see or anything you'd like me to do down in the comments down below. And if you guys want to know all the things that I learned about pregnancy by being pregnant that were big surprises to me, then keep on watching. Let's go. I've been collecting a list on my phone of everything. So the first thing on my list, the sore boobs. I feel like you hear about you get breast pain during pregnancy, but it's, at least for me, I mean, from even before my test was positive, like even before I got a positive test, I was in so much pain. Like it hurt to walk, it hurt to sleep. I wound up having to buy the most high impact sports bras that basically would like hold them in place and not let them move anywhere, because if they moved, it was like a pain I don't want to ever experience again. It was just horrible. That symptom went away towards the end of the first trimester, but wow, was that an experience. Like when I heard of like sore breasts, I kind of felt like it was going to be more like when you get like a little more sensitive during your period. No, it was not like that. It was like I need to hold these in place and not let gravity touch them again. Okay, my next note is morning sickness is not just morning sickness. The only times I ever got sick during my first trimester was in the evening. Now, I've had morning sickness a couple times in my second trimester, but in my first trimester, anytime I got sick, it was in the evening. So basically, I would be nauseous the entire day and I would not throw up until the evening, which is why I'm fairly certain I was losing weight during my first trimester. I only started gaining weight maybe around week 17 or 18. The way that my body was working was I was eating heavily in the morning and I would feel really sick by around 3 or 4 and wouldn't be able to eat the rest of the day. So everyone's different, but for me, like all the sickness was coming later in the day and not in the morning, the first trimester. Next on my list, I wrote, you sleep like a koala. I don't know if koala is the right reference, but the first trimester, I have never experienced a tiredness like the tiredness I felt those couple of months. It's this overwhelming feeling that you cannot be awake. Like it's not that you're tired, it's like your eyes are going to shut whether you want them to or not, because it is painful to be awake. It is this absolute it's not a need, it's not a desire, it is a need. Like you need to be asleep or you are not going to be able to function. I mean, I was falling asleep after work and I would like pass out for 2 full hours and wake up in a fog, like where am I? It was the deepest sleep I've ever had in my life, these like midday naps. I don't do them anymore. That was very much the full first trimester and a little bit into the second trimester, but that feeling of tiredness is like nothing I have felt before, and I am a very tired person in general, and for me to be more tired than I normally am was weird. My next thing is constipation. I did not realize that being pregnant means going number 2 is an event. It is a big deal to go number 2. Like every day that I go, I text Scott celebrating that I have gone. We definitely get excited when I am able to go in this house. Nothing is more uncomfortable than your stomach being full of baby and also being full of all the food you've eaten and it not wanting to leave. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, you just want it out. I am very conscious every single morning to make sure I'm eating fiber and something that is going to make sure that we are getting the grooves going, because not going is the worst. The next thing I have listed is lightning crotch, something I had never heard of before. So I was getting these like sharp shooting pains right up my hoo-ha, and I was like, what is this? My Google search history must be really interesting since getting pregnant. I learned that it is called lightning crotch, which is essentially you're getting kicked in your cervix. I had confirmation from a doctor who did a internal ultrasound where you can see my cervix and you can see a foot going like this to my cervix. So we have kind of learned, like, if we like kind of like be like, okay, that's enough kicking mommy in the hoo-ha for now. Let's chill it out. The baby actually will stop. But yeah, it's like this, I wouldn't have considered it lightning crotch, but now that I feel it, it does feel like a like almost like a spark of electricity, like waking you up. That's been an experience. Again, my mom was like, none of you ever did this to me. What is going on with your body, Rachel? She had 4 kids and no one kicked her in the cervix, but my first one wants to kick me. My next thing I have is your hair grows fast everywhere. My hair has grown so much since getting pregnant. Now that I believe has to do with taking prenatal vitamins, because you're getting a boost of your vitamins. So everything is like extra healthy, growing, like my nails are growing and everything. But when I say your hair grows everywhere fast, I mean everywhere fast. And I remember being so confused, especially early on in my pregnancy. It was the summertime. I would shave my legs and I would get out of the shower and I'd be like, why is it stubbly already? Like, I know I shaved my legs. What is going on? And then I put 2 and 2 together where I was like, well, my hair is really growing fast. All of the hair is growing fast. So honestly, like, I kind of slowed down on the shaving train because it was like, what am I shaving for? It's just coming back, you know, and it's coming back with a vengeance, it feels like. So everything is growing at a rapid fire speed right now. Oh, next is stretching is apparently the cure for everything. Everything is gonna hurt. Everything hurts basically when you're pregnant, and you'll tell the doctor like this, and this is happening, and they'll tell you try some prenatal yoga and stretching, because nothing is actually going to make that feeling go away until you evacuate the situation from your body. So stretching is a cure for the world apparently when you're pregnant, because they can't really tell you to like take like heavy duty medications, and like all you can take is Tylenol. Tylenol might work for like a morning headache for me, but it doesn't really work for the pains you feel from like your organs being displaced and your ligaments stretching and your frame stretching. We all know Tylenol is not strong enough for that stuff. So yes, just a lot of stretching. I do yoga every day. I'm not a yoga person at all, but I know I have to do yoga if I want to survive. So I do yoga as a survival technique. Oh, next thing I have on my list is pregnancy brain is real. And I have 2 excellent examples of times that I had pregnancy brain, because you always think like, ha ha ha, it's an excuse, like you're pregnant, you forgot to do something. Here's one. Last week I was in the shower, shaved my legs. While holding the razor in my hand, I went to put the razor back and thought, wait, why am I putting the razor back? I have to shave my legs. After I had fully shaved my legs. Or last week we were on a walk and we were talking, me and my husband, Scott, were talking about our siblings. And he stated a number of siblings that we have combined. And I said, what are you talking about? Because I completely forgot about 2 of my brothers even existing. Like, I just forgot that they exist. They are my brothers. They have been my brothers for a very long time. But I was like, how did you get a number that high combining our siblings together? Because I forgot about 2 out of 3 of my siblings. Yeah, pregnancy brain is real. I forget things all the time and I walk into corners all the time. It's like I've lost my center of balance and I just like walk into things constantly. The next thing I have listed is a lot of gas. Now I'm talking top and bottom. Especially in the first trimester, it would get to the point where I would fart so much that it would just be like, I'd look over to Scott and I'd be like, the baby says hi. I mean, that is how much I was doing that. Now, so far into the second trimester, I would say it's a lot more burping, and the burping leads to the heartburn, which is just like a whole other fun beast, but like, it's a lot of gas. I can't control it. It's gonna happen whether or not. Half the time I'm not eating or drinking anything and it will just be like rapid fire. So it's really fun. It's great. Oh, my next thing I listed is you can smell everything, especially sweat. So my sense of smell has been like increased by 300 degrees. So I always thought like of all my senses, like my sense of smell was the best. Like I love lighting candles because I like need everything to smell good constantly. I'm very always hypersensitive, aware of how I smell as a person. But like once I got pregnant, like my sense of smell increased, but with my like increased nausea, the bad smells smelled so much worse. And like if Scott works out or does anything like that makes him even like have a bead of sweat, I can smell it from 1 mile away. Like if he walks in the door, I'm just like, walk to the shower, just walk straight to the shower, just walk straight to the shower. Like I cannot be around things that do not smell good, or I am literally, I feel like I'm going to die. Okay, my next thing is chapped lips. Like I've heard a lot of people say that like their skin gets really dry during pregnancy. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I've mainly been pregnant in summer. So maybe come like the fall and the winter, I will get a little bit more dry skin on my body. However, my lips have been so dry, and they only get like really dry and chapped to the point where they bleed typically in the winter. And I'm really good at taking care of them in the winter, but I was not prepared for that in the summer. But I had to be so on top of it all summer that I was making sure to put on my lip sleeping mask every night before I went to bed, or else I would wake up with like dried blood on my lips, like my lips cracked. Like that never happens to me in the summer, but now that I am pregnant, my lips are always chapped. So I always have to make sure I'm like lip balm, lip balm, lip balm, like taking care of them. Okay, my next thing I have on my list is your gums bleed when you brush your teeth. I mean, we all have the occasional like little gum bleed, but oh dear. I could like think about brushing my teeth and like there's blood. It's kind of really ramped up the last week or so, which seems normal according to the pregnancy app I follow, which is the What to Expect app, but it's like going to the dentist bleeding. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but if I go to the dentist, there's a lot of blood usually. So it's like going to the dentist bleeding, just like with a very, very typical teeth brushing. So that's just kind of like alarming, seeing that blood in the sink every time I brush my teeth. This next one I have about heartburn says, if you thought you got heartburn before, you were wrong. Now, I'm someone who has dealt with like indigestion problems since like my freshman year of college, and that is nothing compared to pregnancy. It can be like I'm just sitting on the couch and I'll just like let out a burp, and it feels like a fire dragon has tried to exit my body. Luckily for me, all I need to do is eat one Tum and it deals with it. However, I know a lot of other people have had a lot harder issues dealing with having their heartburn cured. For me, it's like I can eat one Tum and I'm able to calm the beast, fortunately, but I do know other people have had worse experiences than me. This next thing I wrote is sciatica, just sciatica. So I have sciatica. That was like a word I'd heard of before, but like I didn't know what it was. I didn't know it was like a thing that can happen to a 31-year-old girl, but it is. It's pretty horrible. Basically, you have a sciatic nerve in your back, and this growing orb is putting pressure on it, which basically sends pain down your lower back, your butt, your legs. When I sleep at night, like I get not as bad as it was like a week or so ago, but it was like this tingling sensation in my thighs. It almost felt like I was losing circulation in my thighs. Sometimes sitting down, like just the act of like putting the weight onto my butt is very painful and uncomfortable. There's a lot of lower back pain. Like I obviously need to be stretching, but I'm always asking Scott for like, I need you to rub it. I need it to be rubbed. It's not fun. And again, if you read about it, it says, don't worry, it'll go away once the baby's out. So I still got 4 more months of this. This one is very new to this week because I just finally this past week felt the baby in my stomach for the first time, and I wrote, I was told that feeling the baby feels like flutters in your stomach, but for me it feels like little bubbles in my stomach. So it almost feels to me when I feel the baby a little tiny bubble popping in my stomach. Like that's what it feels like. Like people say it feels like butterflies in your stomach, like the flutters, but for me it feels like little bubbles. So I didn't know if I was feeling the baby at first. Honestly, I was like, what is that? And I texted my mom and I was like, why does it feel like there's bubbles in my stomach? And she was like, that's the baby. I guess my thought with that would be is just be aware of what you feel, because you might be expecting something to feel a very certain way and it might turn out feeling a different way, but that doesn't mean it's not what you think it is, if I'm making any sense at all right now. This next one, I don't know, this might be very unique to my pregnancy, but where I go to the doctor, they do a pap smear when you're pregnant. Every single other person I've talked to said they had no pap smear while they were pregnant. I don't know why my doctor's office says this, but they did a pap smear while I was pregnant, and I bled so much for 2 straight days after my pap smear. It was not expected. I was very like startled the first time I took my pants off to pee. I didn't even have any like pads in my house at that point because I'd always been like a tampon and panty liner person, so I didn't even have like absorbent pads, so I had to like run out to the store to get pads. But whew, it's a little surprising when you see blood in your pants when you're pregnant. I know she said like, oh, there's a chance you could spot, but like I feel like you think of spotting one way and like bleeding another way, and like it looked like blood. It did not look like I was getting my period, so it was like a little bit like alarming to me for a second. It was fine, but I just like, whew, I wasn't really prepared for like the blood flow, but we're fine now. Oh, this one's fun. I wrote hormonal changes that make you have constant PMS. So I feel like for the last 5 months, I've been in a constant state of PMS. I am extremely irritable. My emotions are like, woo, 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 like happy, sad, laughing, crying, mad, like all those emotions that you kind of go through that week of PMS. It's just like 40 weeks of emotions. And like, I don't know which one's coming next. Right now, I'm in a very good mood. Like I woke up this morning, I was excited. I knew I was gonna go get my coffee. Like it's a holiday weekend that I'm filming this. Like I'm just in a good mood overall, but like who knows in an hour where my mood will be. Oh, this is interesting. So in general, I feel like you don't really learn about pregnancy and birth and stuff in like health class in high school. I feel like the majority of my knowledge has come from watching a lot of vlogs of birth on YouTube, a lot of birth story videos, a lot of videos like this, like just listening to people talk about their pregnancies. However, since I have gotten pregnant, I had not really watched the birth vlogs and the birth stories that much. I'm able to watch like people's like pregnancy videos. I'm able to watch their postpartum videos. It's a lot harder for me mentally to be able to watch people's birth videos because honestly, for the most part, I think people make videos when things go really horribly wrong and like they just tell you about all the awful things that happen. And I'm very aware that there is a very high possibility that something really bad could happen when I go to give birth. And the amount of anxiety watching something like that when you're actually like in this state, it messes with your head. And I've just decided it's fine. I have no control over my birth. I have zero control. Only my body is basically in control of that. And I'm okay with that. And I understand that. And I have to accept right now that my mind is not at a state where it can watch people giving birth and talking about their birth experiences because I need the positive right now a lot more than the negative. And I know there are people that have had great birth experiences, but even that is hard to watch because I don't want to give my body and my mind false hope. So I'm just like, I know the doctors will make sure that everything is fine. I trust my doctors. Everything will be okay. But for now, I just have to accept that I can't watch it. I totally encourage Scott to watch it because I think there's a lot that he can learn. So he's been watching them. But for me right now, I'm just like, I need a break mentally. Oh, the next thing I have on my list is the shoes you wear matter a lot. Now, I didn't really think that they matter that much. I mean, I'm in quarantine basically during this pregnancy because of COVID. So I don't leave my house a lot. So I'm not wearing shoes that often. And occasionally we'll go on a walk around the block to get my blood flowing and stuff. But one day in the summer, I just like was like, okay, it's just like a quick stroll around the block. Like it'll take like 10 minutes maybe. Threw on my flip-flops, did our walk. The next day, the back pain I experienced was so severe. I mean, this is before sciatica, before round ligament pain. Like this was quite a while ago. The back pain I was feeling was so intense. And I was like, what on earth is happening to me? It was so intense. And literally like an item on the list was like, make sure you wear the right shoes. And I was like, oh my God, am I in this much pain from taking a stroll around our block in a pair of flip-flops? Like I didn't have a bump. I mean, like I was just like tight, like I was my normal size, like nothing. I could not believe it. And as soon as I started making sure I wore shoes with really good like arch support that were comfortable, that didn't happen again. I have actually made sure to like invest in a pair of nice flip-flops. I bought a new pair of like sneakers that are like really foamy and cushiony. I still want to get a really good pair of slippers for the house, but it's hard to like pick really good slippers for pregnancy because when you like look it up, a lot of people are just like putting like really fluffy slippers and I'm like, well, do I need fluffy or do I need like support? So if you know a good recommendation for slippers, let me know. The next thing I have on my list is your doctors want you to call with questions even if you don't want to call. I am personally someone who does not like to call doctors and bother them unless it's an emergency, so this experience is very weird to me. I've only called my doctor 2 times with questions, but it only was after something kind of bad happened. And there he is. So it was only after something kind of really bad happened that I called to be like, hey, this happened. I think everything's fine, but I just wanted to let you know. But they want you to call. They want to hear what's going on because especially in the beginning of your pregnancy, you're only going in once a month. So like a lot can happen in that 4-week time period. So that's something actually that I really have to get used to because I don't call doctors. I don't go to doctors unless it's like the end all be all. So that to me was a big adjustment. It's still something that is hard for me to do, to determine when something is just like, this is it, this is fine. Google says everything's gonna be okay versus is this an emergency? Should I contact someone? Okay, this next one, I feel like people don't talk about a lot, but the mental effects of your changing body shape and comparing your bump to other people's bumps. So, I mean, for a lot of women, I feel like body shape, the way your body looks, it's a very like mental experience comparing your body to someone else's body. I don't think my 20-week bump looks like a bump. Like I feel like it looks like 2 bumps. Like I feel like I call it my lumps instead of my bump. And it's hard not to compare your body to other bodies. Now I know my What to Expect app always is like saying, here's a bunch of different bump shapes that are the same weeks as you. Don't worry, your bump is fine, your bump is fine. But it's still hard not to compare your body, and it's hard not to feel uncomfortable knowing you're just gonna keep getting bigger. And even once you're done getting bigger, you're never gonna go back to where you were. Your body's always gonna be different. Your body's always gonna be changed, and it's a lot to handle. Your body physically is going through a lot, and it's okay to not feel completely ready or completely okay with your body changing forever, because it's your body. Like, you gotta live with it the rest of your life. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle, and it's okay to not be ready for it and to mentally not be okay. And yeah, I feel like not enough people talk about the mental effects of your body changing. Okay, we're getting close. I only have 5 left on my list. Okay, this one is more like, it's not like something like I didn't know about, but I wrote, it is really hard not to clear out the baby section of all the cute clothes in a store when you go shopping. So babies grow fast, and when you're pregnant, people are going to want to buy you baby clothes, and it's really hard to not want to dress your baby yourself and like pick everything out yourself. Like, even for me, I tried really hard with my registry to put a lot of clothes on it that are very gender neutral. That's kind of what I like. I like the idea of being able to reuse clothes for our next baby, which, don't get me started with thinking about doing this a second time. Let's not talk about that yet. It's really hard not to be like, this is so cute, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want my baby dressed in. And you're almost leaving it to like your friends and family to dress your baby for the first few months of life, because, you know, people are going to want to give you stuff for a baby shower. That's a weird kind of feeling, because like, it's such like a special time in your life, and like, there are things where you're like, oh, I want to have the baby dressed like this, I want to do this kind of photo shoot, and like, you know, they're going to grow out of things so quickly, and they might only wear every outfit once. So that's just like a hard experience to experience, I suppose. I actually am having my baby shower when I am going to have my baby shower in my 28th week, so it will be the first week of my 3rd trimester. But there were people that wanted to do it like a whole month after that, and I was like, no, I physically need to know what people are giving us, not because like I need people to give us stuff, just because I want to know the amount of stuff we have so that I have time to prepare and get this room ready, because we are having our baby very close to the holiday time, which is a very, very busy time of the year. It's a very stressful time of the year, and I want to get a lot of stuff done before that time of year hits. And you know, it's your baby, it's your body, you are in charge. If someone says they want to throw your baby shower at a certain time and you say no, I want it XYZ day, just don't let people try to tell you what to do in your pregnancy. Try your hardest to be in control. Even for me, I didn't want to plan my baby shower, but like, I wanted to be like, this is what I want. I don't want anything like extra crazy. I don't want to make people do anything they don't want to do. Like, it's, especially during COVID, it's a scary time to be pregnant. Just make sure that you are in charge of your body and you tell people what you want, because you are the pregnant lady, not them. Okay, the next thing I have is slowing down. Everything takes the wind out of me, especially in the first trimester. Walking up and down steps was like, I couldn't do it. And I even said, for me, like sitting down to film my regular videos, I have a 5-day-a-week upload schedule. Sitting down and talking to a camera for a long period of time literally takes the wind out of me. Sitting down and editing a video, my back can't handle sitting and just typing that long a period of time consistently. So I have had to learn how to slow down and be like, okay, I don't need to get this done in 2 hours. I can take 5 hours with breaks in between. That is not something that comes naturally to me. Slowing down, like, I like to be like, okay, I want to do this, let's get it done. And you can't do that when you're pregnant. You really need to take it easy, listen to your body, because if you don't listen to your body, you're gonna pay for it. Let me tell you, you will pay for it. But it's hard. It's not easy to slow down if you are somebody who likes to get a lot done, likes to bust it, get it all done at once, and it's hard. It's easier said than done, let me tell you. 2 more. My clicking hip bone. Along with sciatica came this clicking in my hip right here. It's not constant. It comes and goes whenever it pleases, but it is bizarre. It's weird. I don't know what's happening. Like, I can hear it and I feel it, and it's not uncomfortable and it's not painful, but like, you just feel it. And like, it's not a feeling that's like a pleasant feeling. It's like, you feel it and you're like, why is that happening? I did buy one of those belly bands that helps support it when it is happening. Honestly, like, I was not prepared for clicking hips. No, I was not. All right, I have one last one, and it was, I did not understand what it meant to pop. And when people are like, oh, you just wake up one day and you're pop. I'm going to insert a photo here now. This photo was taken 3 days apart. I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I was like, why do I look huge? I don't know how it happened in like 3 days, but this was during my 20th week of pregnancy. It wasn't like, oh, you know, really early on in the pregnancy I got big. 20 weeks. It took 20 weeks to do this giant progression. So that was the super short list of things that I did not know about before being pregnant. Would you want to see something like a little maybe more updated, maybe later on in my 3rd trimester, of all the fun things that are going to happen between now and then? Definitely let me know in the the comments. Also, let me know about your pregnancies and what kind of symptoms surprised you, because maybe that will prepare me for things that can still happen to me, helping each other out. And definitely let me know anything you guys want me to film throughout this pregnancy. I had a lot of fun preparing for this video. It's a little different from my channel, but we are Things by the Berk, so we do all kinds of things on this channel. And yeah, that is it for this video. As usual, thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I have my Twitter and my Instagram down below. Give them a follow, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys!